All right, so I've checked this. Overall, I can see that you already understand the structure, which is very good. You have covered it all. You provided the overview, you provided the introduction, you provided the details. Same goes for the second one. So it's already quite clear. And the paragraphing is also clear. But your mistakes here are mostly the details in the details.
The details?
Yes, the details. For example, I particularly find many mistakes about the and the articles here. Not that much, but there are quite some of them, and it's quite obvious. For example, the first one. Unfortunately, here we cannot change a restaurant's average sales to the restaurant, because when we use the, it refers to, as you know, it refers to like a particular one, right?
Okay.
And there's no reference of a previous, there's no mention of the restaurant before. This is the first sentence. It's also unclear which restaurant we're referring to, because there are 3 branches actually. So it's not that accurate if you use the. Aside from that, be careful with your capitalization. I find several times like this supposed to be S, big S, right?
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, basically your mistakes are in the details. Also this, don't forget to use the past tense.
Which one? Oh, had. Yeah.
Past tense. Consisted, had. Mostly the had ones is the one that's wrong. Okay, this one too.
Okay.
And then which else? All right. Oh yeah. For this one, I would suggest to separate it like this and then use as well as here, so that it doesn't look like a list. It's yeah, in a way it's not good to just list things. You want to show that you're able to break it down like fluently and sophisticatedly, right?
I see. Okay. So listing like so I can say like blah blah blah, comma, blah blah blah, comma, blah blah blah. So I just like to this one, comma, and also this one, and comma, and also this one, like that. Is that what you mean? Okay.
Yeah, so make it like not just stack it upon like that. Aside from that, you might know this. I just want to remind it. We have to change the way we say transactions and such. The categories basically, because paraphrasing is one of the like key value to IELTS. The more you can paraphrase naturally, the key is naturally, the higher your score will be.
Okay.
So the most common mistakes that people do is first, not paraphrasing. Second, paraphrasing unnaturally. They change words, but change also their meaning. So they just look in thesaurus and okay, so this have the same meaning. They replace it and it doesn't work, or they don't paraphrase it at all, or they're like under paraphrasing, like that.
So it is recommended to not repeat the category, even though it's the name of the category. We still need to change.
Yes, if possible. Like because of these ones are, it's not names of things, right? It's more of like a mention of things, a mention of what categories that. But you cannot change it if it's names, or maybe it's like yeah, basically names or terms. Yeah, terms is what I mean.
Terms.
You cannot change that. Here it's still possible. Aside from that, I'll reverse this first. I want to know how far is your knowledge about IELTS and its assessment? What we have to do in IELTS writing?
Writing, we have to write down or explain the graph, like the summary of the graph, and then we have to mention the highest and lowest. We have to mention also make some comparison. It's writing task 1, and then writing task 1 or task 2 or both. Which one? The question is task 1, task 2?
For all of them.
All of them, okay. So task 1, we need to based all the writings from the graph. For the task 2, I think we need to make an essay, like sometimes argumentative, so we have to put some of our opinions, and then, but we cannot make it too personal. I think that's what I read. You cannot make it too personal, so we have to give some reason examples also, and then we have to make conclusion in part 2. But part 1 we don't have conclusion. That's what is state.
Okay. Do you know the exact assessment?
Exact assessment, like the category?
Yes, the categories.
It has the lexical resource, like the vocabulary, and then task achievement, like how, like what I read is about like how long did I write, and then like how is the questions answered correctly, the task achievement, and then we have grammatical and structure, like about the grammar, which is bad, I think, from what I see. No, actually, I know that is bad. And then the last one, we have the coherence and cohesion, that is like relating one another, maybe one another sentence or one another paragraph, which is I also bad at it.
So you find yourself the hardest part for you are the the grammatical range and the coherence and
cohesion. Yes, the most, but other also hard, but like the most is both of that.
Okay, I see. All right. From what I see here, your mistake is still punctuation that you don't understand. I think you don't understand is punctuation. And I cannot say the coherence and cohesion is bad, because there are already words that relate one sentence to the other one, even though one of them is not correct for this one. Okay. Yeah, you have to remember to paraphrase further for this. Other than that, oh yeah, I just remembered. You haven't mentioned the most popular item for the other ones, for the Drake Street and the Dunsmuir Street.
I see. So I have to mention all the category.
According to relevance. However, because if it's like numbers, you can just mention the highest and the lowest, right? But there's no correlation between highest, lowest, or anything between among these three. Among chicken burger, chicken wings, and chicken pasta, it's like different things. The only resemblance between them is chicken, and we cannot leave it behind because it's different things.
Okay. Can I give some conclusion? Not conclusion, like because I heard in the overview we need to put like the highest, like, or the lowest and stuff like that. So can I say about the most popular item? Can I say like the most popular, all about chicken, like that, for example?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So there's not exact formula to IELTS. It's more about how you translate the graphs, the diagrams, etc., to make people understand it. The key is, I always imagine, especially when I prepare for my own IELTS, I always imagine when people only read my text here, they can get the same information the same important information as if they're looking at the table.
Okay, okay. So
That's what.
everything should be mentioned then, yeah? Like all, I
Not
cannot leave.
everything.
I
Not
mean like the category. Like
yes.
for example, like I have 4 category, all 4 I need to mention one or 2 of them, like that. Category.
Possibly, yes, but it depends on the category too. For
Mm.
example, okay, let me open one of my. Wait, could you please wait for a minute?
Yes.
Okay. For example, we have here so here we have like three age category and 6 activities. In total, there's too much information that has to be included, right? So you have to choose it. In this case, you can take the highest and the lowest ones. So the tricky part about task 1 is that you have to understand the graph or the diagram. There's no, like what I say, there's no exact formula. There's no like, you always have to use the highest and the lowest. No, it depends on the case. The tips about mentioning the highest and the lowest is just a tip. It helps you to like make it easier to understand, to know which parts that you have to look to, that you have to include. But aside from that, it's also about relevance. Okay. Say you have a table like this. Which information will you choose to present?
Should I talk about the total first instead of the...
That's possible.
Okay. So maybe I will choose the highest of total. Sorry. Yeah, highest of total, and then the lowest of total first.
Okay. How about the other ones?
Then I will choose the highest and the lowest from the each category.
Which category? The activity or the age group?
I'm using the smallest number, which is the age.
Okay, very good.
So like from age 16 to 24, I'm choosing the highest and the lowest, and then the other as well. And then for more relevancy, like I need to mention all, right, from all the category. Not all, I mean like I will also state like the number that is twin, like same,
Twins?
like 11 11 17 17 5 and 5.
Well, a tip for you. You can see here, computer based is lowest, like 10%, but undertaking any crafts and cultural purchases have a similar number to computer based. So you can mention them like slightly higher than that, but still at the bottom is undertaking any crafts and cultural purchases, for example, like that.
Oh, I can state then, like for example, like computer based has the total 10% number, and slightly higher than that is undertaking any crafts and cultural purchases, like that.
You can.
Okay. So like
you can say they are the bottom 3 too.
The bottom
for like, yeah, 16, 20 to 24 age group. The three less favorable favorable activities are this and this.
should I still mention the number or just mentioning is okay?
Of course, you have to mention the number because it's in detail.
Then can I say like between 10 and 11, or I just say 10 and 11, or like
Yes. It's also possible to say between 10 and 11, or you can separate them too. There's no, you can have many versions of this as long as it's correct and it's relevant. Because of the similarity, it's relevant. But when you, for example, you put the any writing to compare with those three, it will not be relevant anymore because the gap is quite different, right?
I see. Okay. Okay, so I just need to fill out the one that is similar and make it into one group so I don't like not TMI in my writing,
Yes, very good.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. I have another example that might be challenging for part one. Wait.
I'm afraid.
No, don't be afraid. But before that, I should ask, how familiar are you with graphs and diagrams, do you think?
Oh, I should say that I'm having a very far kilometers from because my whole life I'm working as a teacher, so I have never seen any graphs in my whole life, and I'm
I see.
quite allergic to economy, so
Okay, even when you're in like the college degree, when you're studying for your degree.
Yeah, for English, I'm studying English literature, and mostly what I face is a lot of paragraphs and diphthongs. like the pronunciation. We don't have like a lot of like
Yes,
data
diphthongs and
taking. Yeah.
the dots and the that thing.
So it's very rare. I mean, the last time I think I saw a graph as my, and I do not have a quantitative research.
Oh, you're having the qualitative one for
Yeah, I'm
your
having qualitative.
thesis?
Yeah, for the thesis, so I don't have the quantitative. I don't need to
Understand.
because because I need to just take some drama and assess that.
I see. Okay. Yes. One of the hardest is the common like problem I see within my among my students are that they're not familiar with graphs. So when they see graphs, their brains like went blank. It's like numbers. Oh no, like that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I think most Indonesian people's like that. Fortunately for me, I also find that my friends from my major, they don't struggle much with the writing test. Because first, we are used to using graphs and diagrams to support our findings. Second one, we're used to argue things.
Yeah.
That's why it fits both of the writing tasks.
Right. So it's not really hard for the major and for your major students.
Not
your
really.
Major.
I cannot say it's not hard, but they're more prepared, I could say.
I see. Yeah, they look like they have the basic already, if I should say.
Yeah, we're already used to like seeing, okay, this graph means this. So we have to look for this, like this highest and this lowest, and this means this, like that.
I see.
Wait, where's that? Where's that information?
It's okay. I used maybe I used to critic than making one.
Oh, okay.
Critics writing instead of making writings. That's my whole
reviews and such.
Yeah.
You're making review, literature review.
Yeah. Like I see writing, I can say, oh, this is blah blah blah, but I cannot make the same one. That's what I cannot say nothing.
It's okay. We need critics. We also need writers. Writers needs critics and critics needs writer. It's a symbiote. It's like a good mutualism. Okay, I think I have to look in the source because my previous data. Okay. So say you have a graph like this. By the way, this is a very good website, not because it provides a good example, but it provides plenty of questions. Yeah.
Okay.
They have like around 300 for task 1 only.
Sorry? Oh, 300?
300 questions for task 1 only.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a good resource.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I should say sometimes the sample answer here is not really that good.
Oh, is it where you still use I think, my opinion. Is it I?
Oh, no, that's fine.
No,
We
that's
can
fine.
use in my opinion. But here it's sometimes they don't paraphrase it. Sometimes the paragraphing is not that good. So also other times, for the example, they're missing an overview like that. So if you're aiming for a 6, you might still refer to this. But if you're aiming higher, I don't suggest you do it. Okay. Say you have a graph like this. I'll give you some time to understand first. That's right. Okay. How will you present your information?
I'm still going to use the least number of category. This is the underweight, ideal, overweight, obese. And I'm mentioning the most, the high, this, not the most, like, maybe I say like, for example, I say in 1955, the ideal has the biggest percentage, while in 2015, I think it still has the highest percentage. So it's like, even though the number is fluctuated, it's fluctuated between the 2 years. Is that okay?
I wouldn't recommend saying fluctuated. Aside from that, yeah, because fluctuated means there's a period. There's a change between periods.
Also like line graph, like this.
Yeah, like line graphs. So you can say fluctuating if the categories below here,
the same.
There are not the same. They are years instead of like categories. Okay. For my overview word, something like this, I will say that people of Charlestown in 2015 are less healthy than people in Charlestown in 1955.
Oh, because of the obese, yeah.
Yes, because the number of even though the number for ideal weight for like the 20 to 29 years old age group is basically the same, 70. Yeah, it's basically the same. But the other groups, they lower significantly, especially for the older ones. Or you want to make it more specific, you can also say that. You can say overall young people in Charlestown in both years maintain their ideal weight or maintain their healthy lifestyle for an ideal weight, but the older generation, the weight of the older generation changed quite significantly to an unhealthy ones.
So yeah, the trend, yeah. Oh, I didn't think that way.
Yes, it's the trend, right? So it's not only the numbers, but how you translate it. Okay, so if like ideal weight lowers, the number of ideal weight lowers, it means like there are more unideal weights. The other ones are ideal weights. It means if it's unideal, most probably they're unhealthy. We can assume that they're unhealthy. It's not ideal. The word ideal itself means like you're supposed to be there, right?
Like supposed to
like that.
have a
So you can translate it like that.
Okay, so it's not always just the number in overall.
No.
So it can be something else that. Okay.
It can be something else.
Okay, like
the numbers help you reach that conclusion.
Okay,
that's what you're aiming.
Based on the chart, yeah, not like blind assumptions.
Of course, not. You cannot say blind assumption. You cannot say, for example, inhabitants of Charlestown became more unhealthy because in this modern era there are more fast foods. We cannot say that because we don't have the data here.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yes, I understand.
Okay, so that's about like task achievement. Okay, I'll let you read this first. Is there any among these like correction that I made? Is there any that you don't understand?
The last one is in contrast, so we can use it in that sentence.
Oh yeah, consequently means as a result. Sebagai akibatnya.
Consequentnya, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's no consequence here.
That's
why I wiped it away. I deleted it.
Okay. How about a slight
and this
difference?
one, I marked this. It's not that it's wrong, but I see when you say there's a slight difference, you will search for like the comparison. Different means you're comparing things, right? But here you break it down. I would suggest saying Dunsmuir Street had a slight difference compared to Georgia Street by around 104 less.
I should state the comparison.
So it puts the comparison there. Yeah, you don't break it like that. Aside from that, I would also mention this. However, usually we will use it in front of a sentence. It's a linking word. It's not a conjunction. So we cannot use it with a comma.
Okay. So conjunction and linking word, where can I find the best for the part 1? Like, what should I put the best? Like, is there any like website or list that you can make so I can use it or I can
have a list, but I haven't really explained how to use it. I'll send you my book. How about it?
Can I say I love you?
Of course, I love you too.
This recording.
I'll share all my materials with you.
I want to cry. I will go to your place right away.
Don't worry, it's in the computer.
Yeah, no, I can send going to hug, and then.
Oh, that's neat.
Go, Shago.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
But you have to promise me you have to do your best. That's the price. That's the price of me sharing my materials.
Okay. I'm working hard. I need to. This is like the last boss of the game. Like I need to defeat it to human to be the human.
I see. Okay, for the part 1, is there any more questions? Is it clear?
So there is no like problem with the sentences, like the what should I say? Like how I compose the paragraph or how I compose the sentences.
No. For paragraphing, you're doing great.
Okay.
Because it's clear. It's just missing the relevance of the popular item. That's all.
Okay.
But the how you develop it is already clear. I have to see another example, Joe, so that I can compare it. Because one cannot just be like your. Even so, IELTS use only one, but I want to see how how stable your performance is.
Okay. Okay.
I'll give you another homework later.
Ah! Yeah, give me more. Give me.
All right. Let's continue to the second one.
Yes.
For the second one, the progression is also good. And your paragraphing is good, it's clear. And you already know, you're already aware of how to put your information, how to divide it, and that every paragraph should have only one main idea. Again, what I feel you're lacking at is the details.
The details?
Yep. So the use of words, the use of hyphens, and references.
Oh, references?
How you refer things, like this one, for example, their eyes. Here,
whose eyes?
yes, whose eyes, very good.
Yeah. Okay. Like the and references.
Yeah.
Cool.
It is hard, I know.
Yeah, I see. Okay. But what do you think about my thesis statement?
It's good.
Okay.
But it's a bit unclear because you didn't insert this. Can be obtained as well for who?
Okay. So who? Okay. So I need to be very clear. With
Yes.
every references I have. Okay.
Yes. The thing about writing is, I don't know whether you realize it or not, because you often critic writings. If you write something, always assume that the other person will not be able to understand anything if you don't write clearly.
Okay.
So sometimes you also have to input the obvious details that using something is very obvious, especially for IELTS or for tests like this, for tests for writing journals, etc. That's why journals are long.
Yeah, exactly. I see. Okay. Oh.
That is the struggle of writing, that even you can say those who have experience in writing still struggle with that. That's why we have to recheck, we have to ask people for proofreading our works, because sometimes we have to make sure that if another person or another mind read this, they will understand things the same way we want them to understand.
Okay. So as clear as possible. Okay.
And then this one too, foreign is not the same as Western. I know that we are trapped in this because we're Indonesian and we see the most common movies coming to our country, and the most popular ones are Western countries. You can perhaps say, for example, by films produced by other countries, especially Western.
Oh, I see. So actually, I want to because when I heard from people that when I want to give opinion, I need to make it apa ya, kayak dikerucutkan gitu. So make it a little bit. So who I want to talk about? I want to talk about Western, but I think the introduction, I need to say
yes,
by other countries, especially Western. So I can define it. Oh yeah, so this paragraph will talk about the Western. Is that okay?
Yes, because when you, because it's the introduction.
Okay.
So we want to make sure one of the like assessment in IELTS is whether you cover all parts of the question.
Oh, all part of the question.
Yes. So when you say it's Western countries, you're replacing foreign films with Western countries. The meaning will be different.
Okay.
But when you focus it particularly, or you especially Western movies, you're telling the audience, okay, we're talking about foreign films, but I want to focus on this part of foreign films. Foreign films can also be Thai films. They can also be Korean drama, right? The Korean films. But if you want to focus on Western, the Hollywood one, make sure you tell first that we're talking about foreign before moving deeper into it.
Okay. They defining before. Okay.
For this one, it's a matter of remember defining and non-defining relative clause.
I'm struggling with that actually a little bit. I think I fell asleep when I learned about that before.
Okay, you have to review that because this is regarding that one.
Okay.
So see, defining. Okay, so I've mentioned this one. This one is repeating.
Oh, even before this one, even oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
This is
even a bigger friend.
Oh yeah, comparison unclear because here you mentioned foreign production company. You haven't mentioned the foreign movies. So you have to specify it here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the thing about IELTS is I think the assessor's very nitpicking things.
Oh yeah. Especially the writing one, eh?
Yeah, especially the writing one.
I struggled a lot. My friend also struggled with that.
I know many people struggle with writing.
Okay.
You can do this. Yeah. One tip for me for the writing part is that you have to learn to be detailed. You have to focus on details and the writing part.
Okay. So
sometimes what costs you is like the small details, but many of them.
Yeah. The storyline look unreal in their eyes when it comes. Okay.
Together.
Yeah.
This one is also like there's the missing piece, a part of what. So you can say, for example, you can change it like a reason also becomes the reason why. Or a part of the cause.
Part of the cause, yes. Yeah. I also, when I read it back again, I was like, a part of what, Rezu? Part of what? Right. What do you want to do?
You didn't read this again after you make it?
I read it, but like it's not too it's a serious thing. Like sometimes I just skip the part that I don't like. It's like like I don't like. So I skip some part, just like going to see, not like all, not at detail, because I think the time is not really. Yeah, don't do that.
In detail.
Okay. Yeah. I need to see it in detail. Yes. Like this part. Okay.
This too. Do you know why I changed look with shows?
No. Can you explain to me?
Shows means like people looking at that. Here it's more like we'll look at them. Okay. This is like this is connotation related problem.
Okay. Like how we see them. Okay. Okay.
If I were to translate in Indonesian, maybe it will be clearer.
Oh, okay.
Bakal gini. Itu menunjukkan tidak nyata. Gitu jadinya.
Oke. Jadi
Seharusnya kan itu terlihat tidak
terlihat.
nyata.
Ya.
Kalau menunjukkan pakai noun belakangnya.
Oh yeah. Yes. It shows unreal situation, for example, like that, yeah.
Yes, it shows
Okay.
unreal situation.
Or unreal graphic. Yeah, I talk about graphic right at that time. Okay.
Gitu.
Mm-mm.
Ini juga clarity between the two movies. So like missing information.
Okay. Because I always say like the total number of spectator only, yeah. I said yeah. Spectator only, or the viewers, yeah. Okay.
Okay, less mistakes here. Only the government seharusnya.
Oh yeah, I've always
And
forgot
this
that. The government.
companies, because there are two mentioned.
So is the second paragraph okay? Like, I don't like state any of the real life example, like look like real life example. Is that okay?
You mentioned Pixar and Marvel.
Oh, it's okay. No problem then.
That's fine.
Okay. Oh yeah, conclusion. I really hate making conclusion.
The conclusion itself is not a problem.
Okay.
The way you present is this problem because you can see that the sentence is too long. Break it down into two.
Okay.
For example, in some, the trend on the internet and the quality of the movies are the main reasons for their popularity. For the popularity of the movies produced by overseas companies compared to the local ones. This can be helped by the government by giving the investment they need so that the industry can grow. Separate them.
Okay. Separate into two, yeah.
Yes, if not, it's too long. And like not the good kind of long.
Yeah, like too many information long, yeah.
Yes, too many information wrong.
Okay. I see. Yeah, I was like, I struggled a lot in conclusion. Like, I want to make a difference. I want to make it like
we have to make it different.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, because they still like, oh, you have to make it different from the introduction, blah 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 blah. But you cannot add any more detail that doesn't relevant. I was like, why should I do that?
I know, right? You haven't stated. You have to be creative on how you paraphrase things. I think IELTS is all about paraphrasing because I put in listen in all of the categories section. It's all about paraphrasing. Listening, you will hear, like in listening part, what you see and what you hear is different, but it has the same thing. The reading part too, like the questions and the like information in the text, they're differently said, but the meaning is different. The meaning is similar.
Yeah. I always think that paraphrase is like the life.
I like
it's like
I like to say that like if you want to succeed in IELTS, especially for listening and reading part, you have to be peka. You have to harus jadi orang yang peka. Harus ngerti di balik itu ya gimana.
At least being in one toxic relationship, yeah, like, you know.
I think so.
Understanding the other partner's, like, you know, actions, like paraphrasing IELTS.
Yes.
I see. Yeah. I don't think that's also like my problem. Like, when I panic, I don't have enough brain cells to search for another word. So I was like struggling. What should I say to make it different? Like those kind of synonym that I can use in that stuff like that. It's
okay. Usually how long do you spend to finish writing, excluding the proofreading part?
When I'm making this, I think it's quite a long time because I struggle in the first part. I struggle in the last conclusion. In part two. In part two, I do think that I take longer in part one because it's so confusing to me to check the table at a time. So maybe 50 minutes with all the brainstorming part.
50 minutes for all?
50 minutes, 55, I think.
for
Around.
both task 1 and task 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's still quite good because it's under 60, so you don't have any problem in reaching the time. If you can make it faster, then you can have time to think about the paraphrasing.
Okay.
So there's another trick that you can use. Just write first, write as fast as possible, using what you have in mind. And then you read again, whether you use the same word over and over again or not. If you have a lot more spare time, you can change those words. Like that.
Okay.
Instead of forcing ourselves to change it while we write it, we can change it later after we're done. But if you're using this strategy, you should practice editing. So you have to be able to see like the mistakes and what's wrong with your writing right after you're writing it, and it could be quite hard.
Yeah. Sometimes we feel like it's already good.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh,
I do that too.
sweet.
Of course, like I write things, I feel like, okay, this is very good, and then I leave it behind. Maybe after that time, I read it again like a year later, and I was like, why did I write like this?
Yeah.
This should be like this. This should be like this. Oh my god, I made a mistake in this. And the worst part is sometimes it's already been submitted to like a competition or such, and I was like, okay. Thankfully I got like the I passed that section of the competition. I just didn't pass like the presentation part. So I feel like, okay, at the very least it's still acceptable, I think. They can still understand my writing, and that's important part.
Okay.
Because for competitions outside of this, like that's like this, it's more about the content. The content will be like the biggest assessment, the biggest part of the assessment. So if your content is good, your grammar is just okay, still okay. But for IELTS, it's the other way around. It doesn't matter if you give. Oh yeah, at one time I asked one. I joined like the webinar, the British Council webinar that I have shared.
Oh yeah.
I asked this question about giving examples. So it works both for the speaking section, and the writing task 2 section. I asked whether we can make goofy examples, because one of my students was like that. Back then he got the question. It's for the speaking part actually. He got a question of like about paintings, and he doesn't like art at all. So he doesn't know anything about painting. He only know Mona Lisa, and that's
okay.
And then he was asked, which painter do you think? Which painter is your favorite? So in order to answer that, he lied, and he lied perfectly. But it's weird because he said that Leonardo DiCaprio produced a painting. Okay, so you can see that kind of goofy things, and it's still acceptable in IELTS actually.
I see. Yeah.
So it you don't have to worry whether like your example is true or not, whether it's like real facts or not. They will not check it.
Yeah.
As long as it's believable, then it's okay.
Yeah, actually, I made one actually in this part.
Which one is that?
The 2019 Guntur. Yeah, there's no Guntur movie. I remember there is one movie from Anwar Hassan. I don't know, and then it's called Gundala Putra Petir.
Yes, Gundala.
But I forgot. I thought I said Guntur.
Yes. What you did here is very fun.
Yeah, that's the.
Okay, that's a good thing actually.
Okay.
So you can do that as long as your argument is clear, it's supported. and it's logical. The argument is logical, not the example.
Yeah, the argument. Yeah, like okay, sure.
So that's fine.
I see. Okay, struggling a lot with details.
Details, yes, I know.
Details.
It's all in the details. Even when I write things, it's easy for me to critique like this because I'm
Yes,
seeing
right?
another person. You feel it too, right? If you look at another writing, you can say, oh, this one is missing, etc. But when we are looking at our own writings, it can be a bit hard.
Yes.
So if you want to achieve like 7, 10 and higher, I would suggest, other than preparing and writing itself, you also have to prepare editing things, especially if you're not used to it.
Okay.
Fortunately for me, when I took my IELTS, I'm already used to editing things. My friends, I don't know why, they always ask me to edit their works, be it like school works, college essays. Well, they don't ask me for papers because usually it's too long. But if they have like, they want to submit something to competition, even like several of their final thesis, several of them asked me to read their final thesis, even though I'm not from their major, to make sure like the added things, the like cohesion of the arguments are real. So when I face my own IELTS, it's already like easy for me to see the mistakes. Even then, I think I skipped some parts. I missed some parts too. I know, I feel what you felt when you say like, I only have one brain cell left.
Yeah, limited brain cells are for the editing part.
I know. Oh, maybe like I have 1.5 brain cell. So like 1 for writing and a half for the editing part, or maybe it's only 1 and they halve it.
And their half is sleeping for me.
Yeah, that's what. And half like, okay, because I feel back then I feel like, I know there's something missing here, but I forget what.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like that. So I like to read another person's writing. I don't like to read my own writing.
I know. I share that too.
So when I have like students writing, I love critics. I cannot critique my own self. Because I just lazy to read again. Sometimes.
Yeah, but when you're doing your IELTS, you have to read again. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to delete those
Another
laziness.
thing that is hard for us when we read our own writing is that we know what we want to say. So it becomes clear when we read it, we will not feel like, okay, this part is missing, because we know what it refers to. But when another person who cannot read our mind read it, they will be like, what do you mean with this?
Yeah. Okay. I see.
That.
So I just need to practice a lot.
Yes.
About the details, the details and stuff. Okay.
You know the theories of English. So it's supposed to be, I mean, I cannot say it's very easy for you. You have to, that's what you say, you have to practice a lot.
Okay.
Be familiar with it.
Yes.
Because the more you practice, the more you get familiar with it, the more it looks less threatening.
Okay.
It's like, oh yeah, I have to do this, and this. It's just like, okay, the topic is different, but I already know what to do. The first sentence should be this, the second sentence should be this, and then I have to give example for this. And so on.
Okay.
Like that.
Yes, grammar. I hate it.
Do you feel that? Oh my god, I have a friend here.
Yeah, I won't be able to understand grammar if I'm not teaching English.
I know. Oh my god. I always say to my friend, like, I hate grammar. Don't worry if you hate it too, because I also hate it. And I do. It's like, it's my career. I depend on grammar for my career.
Exactly what I hate. Yeah. And I was like, "Ugh, what's grammar?"
I know, right?
Yeah. I see. Okay. So about those stuff what I need to explain is what I need more is the more like the details, like the references, articles, grammar.
Mhm.
But my grammar for part 2 is correct tenses. Is it
Yes,
correct
I
tenses?
think
Yeah.
so.
Mm-mm.
It works for me. So
Mm-mm.
let
Okay.
me read it again to make sure. Oh yeah, here, those films.
Ah.
If you say the film, it refers to a general one.
Mm. Okay.
So we cannot make comparison for
Specific that, yeah.
that. Mhm. Wait. I'm a bit weak with conditionals.
Mm-hmm.
So for this one, right.
Well, then, for if the government could provide better support for the industry. So I'm using the
This is the second type, right?
second one, yeah.
Yeah. But if I'm not mistaken, the second type would require us to use the past tense too here.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, past and passive.
Yes,
Past perfect. Sorry. Present, past and past. Okay.
yes, it's
It's
supposed to be past.
conditionals.
Wait.
If the government could provide, which could be obtained as well for domestically produced movie.
No, it's not the past perfect. It's a would. The models in the past form.
Ah, yeah.
The perfect one is the third. I know conditionals.
Ah, I hate that.
And Duran. I hate that too.
I see. Okay. Understandable.
Oh yeah, this one also like connotation part. Opportunity here doesn't really work. It's more like a time.
Time. And it's okay. So it's different, like not used in that situation.
Yep. No other. I think there's no other ones. No other mistakes.
Yes, a little bit. Yay! I finished one of the spawn of the big boss. The big boss. I mean, big enemy. The last enemy. I don't know what I say. Okay.
Okay, wait. Let me stop the recording so we can